Koppel, host of the Time for Coffee podcast, where you get firsthand career advice into the jobs and industries that interest you the most. And before we start today's show, I have a quick favor to ask you. If you haven't already, I'd be incredibly grateful if you give us a rating and a review on iTunes. And if you're like me, you need to do it now because you'll forget later and because it's the best way to help others who may be in search of career advice to find this free resource. So press pause if you haven't done it and do it right now. I'll wait. Thanks so much and enjoy today's show. Hey there, Java Junkies. Welcome to another K-Cup mini episode of Time for Coffee. By the way, K-Cups come in 3 sizes, single, double, and triple shots, or roughly 1 minute, 5 minutes, or 10 minutes in length. So if you don't have time to throw back an entire caffeinated career conversation, these K-Cup mini episodes of T4C can give you a quick caffeinated fix, whether you're on the go or you only have a few minutes to binge. So grab your mug and take a chug, because it's time for a caffeinated career double shot K-Cup with my guest, Kelsey Hess. What a content and brand manager is, and whether it's different at all from being a marketing manager.
Yes. So it is slightly different. Content and brand is what I like to say, making sure your company sounds good and looks good. So there's a written aspect to it, and then there's a visual aspect to it, which is the brand side of things. And so for the content side of things, you're typically overseeing all written content channels. So that includes a blog, if your company has one, email, social media, a podcast, if your company has one as well. So kind of all of the written and verbal content coming out. And as well as on the brand side of things, you're typically making sure your company looks good. So you're working with graphic designers, you're working with photographers, you're working with design companies to make sure the brand really aligns with the voice of the brand. The visual aligns with the written. And so those are kind of 2 very creative outlets that my role has allowed me to explore.
And what would a marketing manager do?
Typically, a marketing manager does more of like the nitty-gritty marketing. So advertising copy, sales copy, marketing funnels for emails, any offers that you have on your site, whether you're selling something or you have lead magnets. So there's a little bit of that within my role. But for example, at my previous company, there was myself, which was a content and brand manager. And then we had an e-commerce manager, which is more of that, marketing manager. So making sure that everything on the site is priced correctly, sales are running well, email funnels are running well. I'd say it's more of like a harder marketing role than a content and brand manager is.
Got it.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Thank you so much. So I know you have literally just started your new job with Dr. AvivaRomm. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yes, just started a week ago.
Woo. And since you were pretty much doing the same thing in your last role at Keon, I think it makes probably more sense for us to talk about what you did at Keon, because you were there for 3 years. So could you give us sort of an overview, Kelsey, of what all of your job responsibilities were?
Absolutely. So as a content brand manager at Keon, I sort of did what I just explained. So I managed all of the written content channels. I had a writer that would write our educational blogs for us. I had a writer that would do emails, a writer that would do copywriting. And so I worked with them to make sure that all of the writing that we put out was consistent with the brand, ethos, voice, style, tone, quality standards, all of that good stuff, as well as social media. So I was kind of overseeing the editorial calendar for the company, what went out and when it went out, and making sure that our content was distributed across channels. So making sure that when we wrote a blog post, it was distributed across all of our social media channels and all of our email channels. So that was one side of my role there. And then on the brand side of things, a major part of what I did the last year or two that I was there was helping oversee a rebrand of the company. So visual rebrand. So redoing all of our labels on our products, redoing our fonts and our colors, redoing our website, updated photography. So working with external vendors to kind of make that all come to life along with other people at the company. And as well as graphic design, all of that creative visual stuff and making sure we sounded good and we looked good.
Thanks for tuning in to this K-Cup mini episode of Time for Coffee. If you want to listen to our entire caffeinated career conversation, please check out the show notes for this episode. Thanks so much for listening to this latest episode of T4C. And if you're interested in learning more about my coaching services for confused college students and recent grads, feel free to check out the Time for Coffee website under the coaching tab at time4coffee.org or text me at 202-236-5712. That's 202-236-5712.